The tale of two warriors, Islam Makhachev vs. Alexander Volkanovski. Imagine this, the electric atmosphere of a packed arena, the sound of 1,000 hearts beating as one. The stakes are high, two fighters, each the king of his own domain, preparing to fight for supremacy. On one side, you have Islam Makhachev, the prodigious talent who has inherited Khabib Nurmagomedov's mantle. On the other, the ever-resilient Alexander Volkanovski, who had dominated the featherweight division with unrivaled precision. And so, the story begins. The first encounter, UFC 284, a clash of styles. It was February 12, 2023. The world watched with bated breath as these two titans met for the first time in a battle for the UFC lightweight championship. Volkanovski, a smaller fighter by comparison, had been the reigning featherweight champion, and he dared to venture up a weight class to challenge Makhachev for the gold. The stakes were enormous. Volkanovski wasn't just seeking another win. He was pursuing greatness, hoping to solidify his legacy as one of the sport's all-time greats by claiming the lightweight title. But Makhachev, with his calm and calculated demeanor, was on a mission of his own. Having trained under the legendary Khabib Nurmagomedov, Makhachev's style was like a chess game, methodical, precise, and built on suffocating pressure. A master of the mat, he had carved a path through the lightweight division with dominant performances. And now, he had a new challenge in front of him, the man who had defied the odds for years in the featherweight division. The arena was packed with excitement, the lights blinding and the noise deafening. As the bell rang, the fight began. Makhachev immediately tried to close the distance, using his grappling to neutralize Volkanovski's striking. Volkanovski, though outgunned in size and strength, proved he was no mere underdog. With his relentless pace, he had the agility to avoid Makhachev's initial attacks, landing sharp jabs and kicks. It was clear from the start that Volkanovski wasn't intimidated by Makhachev's size advantage. Every time Makhachev looked to engage in the clinch or take Volkanovski to the ground, the Australian displayed his incredible balance and footwork. Makhachev, however, was patient and calculated, eventually grounding Volkanovski and controlling him in the later rounds. As the fight progressed, both men displayed their elite skills. Volkanovski's striking was crisp, landing shots that seemed to irritate Makhachev, but Islam's wrestling and control were undeniable. In the final moments of the fight, Makhachev secured his position on top, displaying dominant control to ensure the judges' scorecards favored him. When the final bell rang, it was clear that Makhachev had done enough. The unanimous decision was in his favor. Makhachev had successfully defended his title, but not without a fight. Volkanovski, despite coming up short, had earned the respect of the MMA world for his incredible heart and resilience. He pushed Makhachev to his limits, and many believe that, in another world, he could have walked away with the victory. However, controversy brewed post-fight. Many fans and analysts believed Volkanovski had done enough to claim at least 3 rounds. There were those who argued that Volkanovski's striking had been superior, and that his agility and conditioning had troubled Makhachev. Did the judges get it right? The MMA world was divided. Some felt the fight should have been a draw, while others questioned whether Makhachev's control on the ground outweighed Volkanovski's stand-up performance. The rematch, UFC 294, a knockout for the ages. Fast forward to October 21, 2023, UFC 294. The rivalry between Makhachev and Volkanovski was far from over. Both fighters had a point to prove. Makhachev, though victorious, was still being questioned. Did Volkanovski actually win the first encounter? Was Makhachev truly the king of the lightweight division? Volkanovski, on the other hand, had been stewing over the decision that many believed was a bit too close for comfort. He had already made history by fighting and defeating the best. But before the fight, another layer of controversy began to unravel. Volkanovski had taken the fight on short notice, stepping in to replace Charles Oliveira, who had suffered an injury. The time frame was compressed, and Volkanovski had to prepare in just weeks, leaving some wondering if he could truly be at his best. Makhachev, on the other hand, was primed, focused, and ready. This would be a defining moment for both men. The atmosphere at UFC 294 was electric, the arena a cauldron of anticipation. Fans from around the world packed the arena, eager to witness the rematch between these two gladiators. As soon as the fight began, the tension was palpable. Volkanovski, as always, came out swinging with precision, looking to establish his striking dominance early. Makhachev, however, was more patient, not rushing in, trying to find his moment to strike. And then, just like that, it happened. In a blink of an eye, Makhachev unleashed a head kick knockout that left Volkanovski staggering. It was a thunderous kick that landed flush, and Volkanovski, despite his incredible resilience, couldn't recover. He crumpled to the canvas, the crowd erupting in a frenzy. The fight had ended just as fast. As it had begun, Makhachev had successfully defended his title once again. The first round knockout was decisive, and Makhachev's brilliance was on full display. The aftermath, controversy, regret, and respect. Post-fight, the story continued. Volkanovski, while devastated by the loss, was nothing but gracious. He accepted the defeat with dignity, acknowledging Makhachev's skill and recognizing that, in the world of MMA, anything can happen in a fight. His defeat was heartbreaking, but it did not define him. He was a warrior, and warriors learn from every battle, win or lose. However, the controversy still lingered. The short notice of the fight hung over the outcome like a dark cloud. Many questioned whether Volkanovski was given a fair chance to prepare properly. While Makhachev had proven his dominance with a spectacular knockout, the what-ifs remained. Would Volkanovski have been able to make the adjustments he needed with a full camp? Would the result have been different had the circumstances been more favorable? These questions would fuel debates for months to come. Makhachev, meanwhile, was hailed as the undisputed lightweight champion, his legacy solidifying with each passing moment. His head kick knockout was not just a victory, it was a statement. He had sent a message to the world that he was indeed the most dominant lightweight in the sport. Yet, even with the victory, he expressed respect for Volkanovski, acknowledging how dangerous his opponent was and how close the first fight had been. Makhachev knew that Volkanovski was still one of the sport's greatest, and his respect for the Australian was evident in his post-fight interview. The legend continues. And so, the rivalry between Islam Makhachev and Alexander Volkanovski reached its thrilling conclusion. For now, both fighters had shown the world what true warriors were made of: heart, skill, resilience, and the unrelenting pursuit of greatness. Their story wasn't just about wins and losses. It was about the drive to be the best, the sacrifices they made to reach the top, and the respect they earned from fans and fighters alike. As the story of their rivalry settles into the annals of UFC history, one thing is clear: this is a chapter that will be remembered forever.